Hello, good day guys, and welcome to my video. And in this video we'll be checking out the new week's outlook for gold, and also do a brief recap on what happened last week. So in the other video that I dropped a while back, we could see these levels on weekly, because I usually like to start from the weekly time frame. We could see this break of structure on the weekly time frame, and I marked out this level whereby we had this OB that swept out liquidity, tapping into the weekly FVG and then giving us the break of structure. And my expectation was for price to tap into the OB and give us a continuation towards the upside, but price actually did that in a very aggressive way, that it went down deep below the 0.5 levels, went down really deep below the 0.5 level, almost tapping into the OT level. That's 60 to 70% of the Fibonacci retracement. And we could see after that we had some rejection, but then the week closed in a way that it's closed actually bearish, but giving us that rejection from the OB. So if we just do a little test back up to the daily monthly time frame, we could see how the moons closed. The moons really went down low, tapped the edge of the other candle, the wick of the other candle, and then rejecting back up and pushing as high as closing above 80H, but then it failed to do so and rejected back to almost where it opened. So let's start from the weekly time frame now. On the weekly time frame, usually the first thing I do is I ensure that I mark out my highs and lows. So this level holds this week that was closed high and the other week's high also, so they are all in a similar place. So I'll just name this previous week high, and then I'll leave out the low for now. So we could see that already from the weekly time frame. If I should change my charts back down to lines, we could see if we mark our FIB from the point that price fell down, broke this level, swept liquidity, broke structure to the upside, we could see that we tapped and we're moving above the 0.5 level, as we could see here. So if I should take that off, we should go down to 1 day. And should go back to 1 day. On the 1 day time frame now, we could see a tap into this daily FVG. We spoke about this level extensively, and we could see how we floated up high. My expectation from this level is that price will use it as a way to take out most of these highs and chase towards 80H. And we could see how price taps into the midpoint and started to push up, left us with another FVG here that we tapped into the body. We tapped into, but we got so close to the low of the daily FVG, but we did not close below or did not have anybody left within it, as you can see. So if I should come back up to weekly time frame now, on the weekly time frame now, just like I did last week, I would love to mark out this level, that's the top of this block, this candle here. And then if I should go down now to 1 day, on 1 day we could see how price did not agree to close below that particular level, whereby we could see that it's accompanied with this daily FVG. And we could also see further how price went down to this point, and I'll show you, like, there was another pattern right here where price taps and rejected. So if we go down to 4 hours now, we should go down to 4 hours. My network is being a little bit laggy. Okay, so back down to 4 hours now. On 4 hours now, we could, if we look down here, we could see this looks like, or looks very very clean in a way, but not accurately clean in terms of it being an inverse head and shoulder. We could see price this point here, down, back here, and boom, break out of this particular level right here. Okay, let me just mark it, something like this, down, down, down. What I would like to consider as the head, I will consider these two lows as the head, back here, and next thing we saw, boom. This is a very very serious reversal pattern on gold. If you haven't checked it out, backtest it both for selling opportunities and for buying opportunities. Backtest it is very very effective, and you could see our price. Usually with this is our entry, this point here is our entry. So we could see how price came back, tapped here, and started rejecting up in accordance to another 4 hours FVG that is interbodied into that daily FVG here. So from that, now we could see the whole rejection back and price pushing back up, tapping into this failure swing, and then pulling back down lower again. If we go down now to 1 hour time frame, on the 1 hour time frame now, we could notice something. We could notice something here. We could notice that when price was pushing back down to fall down into the level of our weekly block, we could see how we could get we continued getting break of structure, indicating that we're moving on a bearish trend line. Price respecting these levels, beating back, and then all of a sudden, as of last week Thursday, we broke out, came back to the body of it, having this block here, tapped into it. But then if you notice this, we had one serious low bearish candle that fell back down, tapped into the one lower, and then started pushing back up. I think this happened with the whole news of the US tariff issue with China and Trump, what he said about China not following or respecting all of that. So we saw that fall back into this level now, and then if we should go back down to, and the good thing is that when we fell back down now, we did not close below it, we still broke out of it again. And when we broke out of it now, what did you notice here? With that displacement to the downside that happened here, we had an FVG left right here, and you could know that it was getting very effective because of the way we could see price bouncing from this level. We could notice like bounce, price was bouncing from that level, and we should mark that out. We could see that price kept on pushing like rejecting when it started to tap in with this first candle that went in. We could see some form of rejection. This second guy too rejecting, but then this guy rejected, but then closed above the open that it had and went as high as that, and we could see price now falling back towards the midpoint. This is one of the buy scenarios I actually use with FVGs. That means that is like we break out of them and then fall back down to tap into the midpoint, and on that midpoint now we look for entries. So if I should go back down to 15 minutes time frame now, on the 15 minutes time frame now, what do we see? We see that after this guy tapped into the midpoint and we got that those various rejections that fell back down, tapped our trend line again, and then we had a break of structure to the upside, and then price falling back into the discount level of this break of structure, tapping into our OB. We could see that, and if I should even limit this down here, we could still see that. So what I'm actually expecting with all of this that I've said here is that, okay, after we're sure of all of we could obviously see everything that has been going on. What I want to see is that I want to see price using this level or point, or tapping back again into that weekly top of the FVG, taking out 50% of this week, or just right here, boom, back to the upside, tap this, and then we continue pushing up higher. This is very, very long overdue. This is very, very long overdue. I know a lot of people might be really, really bearish, but then I could see price still holding up to the bullish momentum that it has been holding up to for weeks now. That is actually what I can see happening a lot here on this chart. So what I expect is that after this, price will chase towards previous week high, which is at 33.57, and most likely subsequently go as high as taking out the ETH. I think this is a very, very obvious a very, very obvious one, that could play out. So we could see from this level, I think from this midpoint of where price is currently now, is very, very important and key. So something like this and price pushing up higher like this, if we should look for entries, I would fully invest in taking this midpoint, my SL somewhere right here, and targeting as high as the previous week's high, and targeting as high as that. Could even draw it as high as this here, right there, and target this level, and we'll see it's about a 9-hour trade right there. And then where we could start to see problem or have issues is when, okay, this should be last week's low right here. So when we could start to see drama is when price closes with full body below this FVG, taps it down, and then boom, this is where we could have some really crazy drama. Yeah, if price closes below this guy and does this, we could have a fall that could go as low as this. So I'll take that screenshot and also add it to my outlook. But then I'm looking at the best part of the bearish aspect with everything that has been happening globally. This should most likely play out. And then about the recap for what happened last week, I'll just cover that briefly. Sorry, my chart is inverted. So if I should switch down, I'll use 1 hour for this, so that we'll just keep it really brief and just proceed. So if we look out on 1 hour right here, I know last week was actually pretty tough because we got stopped at multiple times, catching a lot of buyers got really fucked up, really messed up last week. So we could see that from the points that our markets, let me just take all of this out, from the points that our markets opened, this was on Sunday, we could see the first presented FVG right here. This is the first, let me just take all of these out. You could see the first presented FVG right here. That is after from Friday, boom, we saw this first presented FVG down into 12 a.m. Monday, and we could see how price rose back, tap into the first presented FVG. And please note that already we were quite bullish with this break to the upside, and this other break here with inducement right here, price tapping in, and we could see a very good type of rejection to the upside. But then price failed to close above this guy, and that failure to close above this guy led to this break of structure. We could see now price tapping, boom, break of structure right here, and price retracing back up, tapping into this OB, and we could see how price rushed down. We could see that. So all of this happened. This was Monday, down. Tuesday sold a lot, and then price still retracing back up to these levels. What do we have on this level? If we should mark this out, we could see that we had this FVG right here that price actually used. After it formed, price used it to push up to this upside, but then price came back to this level, failed to close above this guy again, are still sold down Wednesday. You could see all of this happening. And then Thursday bought from a lot from after tapping back into that shoulder. Thursday bought a lot, but then Thursday too failed to close above, tapping into this failure swing before we had price falling back and testing into this daily FVG that we have right here. And if you could see how everything is playing out, it's all playing out in regards to what is happening on HCF on 4 weeks. We could see it all playing out like that. And even if we should switch down to like the daily time frame, we could still see how price is like acting up and respecting everything quite quickly. So I want us all to like keep our eyes open to the opportunities that will present themselves this week, and we should take as much as we can and also make the best out of the new month. And I'm wishing everybody a profitable week ahead, a profitable month. And if you are not part of the family yet, please subscribe to the channel, join the Telegram channel via the link in the description, leave a like, follow me on Twitter, so that we could expand and reach to many more people out there. And if you are interested in getting my VIP signals, you could find more details about that in my Telegram channel. It costs $35 a month, and let's just make this week count, because I'm sure that we're going to print a lot. So thank you, and I'll see you all in the next one.